Background on the Miami scene, can you please kind of give us like a little short intro to what your connections to rave culture scene?
Ladies first.
Hi, I'm Medley. I've been a supporter, DJ, promoter, street team, groundbreaker in the rave scene here in Miami since the early 90s.
Great. Gene?
I'm Gene Moro. Started in the 90s. By 92, was already promoting parties with Frank Morales and Alex.
Oh, cool. So in terms of your first introduction to rave music or your first experience of rave music, can you give us a little insight, both of you?
My first rave was called Divine Playground, and it's because Meet Beat Manifesto was there.
All right.
And I used to be a little goth girl first. And yeah, goth graver.
Yeah, there's crossover there.
Yeah. And so yeah, that was the first time I went to a rave.
So what year is this we talking about?
Probably 92.
And what enticed you to it? What I'm trying to get to is what kind of got you hooked on the idea of maybe it would be fun?
Well, it was definitely Me Beat Manifesto. I wanted to go check them out, but then I saw other things. There was other artists, Utah Saints performed.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So that was like the first electronic music act I ever saw, which they're old school.
Oh, big time.
Utah Saints.
Yeah. And Gene, like your first taste of this scene?
With me, it was actually watching the Summer of Love Festival on MTV at 3 o'clock in the morning with my best friend.
Oh, wow.
And I fell in love with DJ Sasha.
Right.
After that, it was over.
All right. Cool. What year was this approximately?
1990.
All right, cool.
1990, and after that, just kept on searching everywhere in Miami for that sound. And we had to end up bringing it ourselves.
Yeah, like it's the whole story of the culture in general is a DIY thing. If somebody wasn't doing it, you'd try and do it yourself, and that's it.
Nobody was doing it at that time. It was all about Miami bass, freestyle, but never the combination of all of it into one sound, like what it became.
Great. I mean, were you like in your late teens, early 20s when all this comes?
Actually, I was 15.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was
I was 15 too.
Cool. I was more or less the same age as well, so we're all in the same boat. But it's interesting that this musical subculture could kind of ignite that DIY spirit in 15-year-olds. No, I mean that alone is something to be.
At that time, something needed to change.
Sure.
Music was getting stagnant. Yeah. Dance culture was getting stagnant because I come from breakdancing.
Yeah.
So
that was petering out a little bit, or
correct. Because it didn't have the Africa Bambaataa Soul Sonic 4 thing anymore.
Yeah.
More rap, the harder rap music started taking over at that time. So you weren't really dancing anymore.
Sure. So in terms of the film itself as a whole thing, and just so you guys are aware, I just set the scene about the film. The filmmakers are from Tenerife, so that's why it takes a segue into Tenerife for about 10 minutes, because the Tenerife Canary Islands Spanish government paid for a large chunk of this film, so just to give you context as to why it's used. Which, for me, when I was watching it, it didn't make sense, but it made sense when later I heard that without the funding from the Spanish Tenerife government, there would be no film, so there you go.
They have a great scene. They have a great breakbeat scene out there.
So in terms of the film, though, were you familiar with most of it? Was like the history?
Every single thing.
So no surprises, or?
There was a couple surprises,
definitely,
and it also was very reminiscent of what was going on here.
Okay, cool.
As well, underground, and the record shops, and the store where you got the rave clothes, and the pirate radio station, which was my very first gig was on the Womb, which was a pirate radio station here.
All right, so where was that based? Nearby here? Or?
Miami Beach.
Oh, cool.
Yep, they were the first.
It was the University of Miami.
No.
The Womb.
No, it's not. VUM, that's WVM. The Womb was just like a pirate radio station, and then they started cracking down, and then they got sponsored by a Terra, which is kind of like Google for South America, sponsored them for bandwidth, and then they started streaming video and audio. And they had a little chat room where you can make little emojis or little emoji people. It was great. It was way ahead of its time.
I think like forums basically, like
Yeah, thewomb.com.
So, you know, you've been a part of the South Florida underground scene for a long time as a promoter and through Geishaz, yeah?
Yep.
So, from your perspective, how has the scene evolved over the years from when you first started out to where it may be now, or maybe it was 5 years ago, or like?
It's constantly evolving. I've been digging away and chipping away at the underground pretty much the whole time.
Right.
And it's definitely evolved a lot. You know, a lot of the culture now is now in these big festivals, and you know, the EDM music is a little different than what we grew up on. And
yeah, I mean that's the kind of part of my second question as well to Eugene. It's like Miami is well known outside of Miami for being a party town.
Yeah.
So I mean, is there a gel there or a bit of friction between the underground-ish rave scene, if it's still an element of it going on? Or is it, I mean, has it always been very distinctive, or was there ever a crossover?
There's always been a difference.
There's always been a difference.
There's never been a crossover, really. It's been that and this.
It's either that or this. Yes.
Okay.
Now that we were crossing paths and experimenting with each other, that happened 100%.
Sure. And in terms of you, Gene, from your side, what does it actually take to build and sustain the scene that you've been involved with in Miami, in terms of a lot of energy, a lot of, you know, wild goose chases, they say as well, in terms of trying to keep this community growing?
It's just one thing. You gotta love it.
Passion, I guess.
That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else substitutes for that.
And what were the challenges you ran into in doing that? Because I mean, passion is one thing, but you know, hitting brick walls, the metaphorical ones, you know, people will say no, like, you know, it's never easy to set up and sustain a scene.
So I'm a salesman by trade.
Okay.
So I'm used to hearing 1,000 no's before one yes.
Okay, you're lucky in that respect.
So
yeah.
that's the way you have to look at it, because there's no way you're gonna break down a wall without beating it down.
Well, you gotta be driven, say like.
And the biggest challenge was getting others to see your vision and to actually listen to the music.
Sure.
That was the biggest challenge.
Sure.
But once you crossed that over, it was like, hey, it was done.
And in terms of, you know, the title of this film is all about when Rave Culture came along, it felt like a new era. This film is primarily focused around 88 to 92 because the filmmakers really felt that was the core of the scene that then splintered off into so many other subgenres. But just for, you know, a key 5-year-ish period, what do you feel like, you know, are we in a new phase of rave culture in any way, or are we seeing just the cycles repeat themselves? Is there like development going on the last 5-ish years, for example, from where it was 15 years ago, in terms of
as far as music goes? Because I always say I'm a fan before anything.
Right.
And she knows that I always say that. I'm their biggest fans.
Sure. Good.
So, with that being said, I think just technology has helped bridge the gap between real talented people and just people that work hard.
Yeah.
So it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
I think that it is good to have it in a massive way instead of in a very intimate way, the way we had it, because that's how it all starts until it becomes overgrown. But I really like the fact that everybody's into it. I like the fact that I saw it from, at least here in Miami, from 50 to 75 people at a party to Ultra.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know, I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah.
And even more so, the first Ultra was all breakbeats and jungle, drum and bass. Oh, TJ Bookham.
Sure, yeah.
Rabbit in the Moon.
Yeah.
You know, DJ Storm. Unfortunately, he wasn't here, but he was also in the first Ultra.
What do you think yourself, Medley, in terms of an evolution? Is it obvious, or is you got to kind of keep an eye on it in terms of what's been going on?
Well, there's definitely been an evolution, and there's definitely been cycles. Both, you know, for myself, you know, I've kind of evolved myself, and now I am using things that I learned back then to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, for example, I'm really into the vinyls, you know, listening lounge circuit.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is my roots. I learned how to DJ on vinyl. So it all comes back full circle. And I'm still seeing the same people out there, and I'm seeing new faces as well. So it's a little bit of both. Definitely.
Great. So yeah, that was what I was going to ask or suggest. You've seen the 20-year-olds coming up and taking some of the risks that you guys might have taken. I know there's the other thing. You know, there's a political element to this film, particularly in the UK, where it was very political. It was unavoidable. But like, I'm sure it's not as easy, maybe with overhead prices, price of living, to do what you guys might have started out doing 25 years ago versus now.
It was very easy to do it back
Yeah.
then because Miami wasn't so congested.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very easy to do.
But it's the price of rent to begin with, I guess. It's a
Back
simple
then?
thing. You could take risks. Like.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
not only that, everything was new.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the cops didn't know what we were doing. You know, they were like, "Look at these dumb-looking kids." You know,
Sure.
like why are they popping vitamins? And
Right,
I don't know, vitamins.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, so what I was getting at, have you seen Medley, like, kind of like 20-ish year olds coming and trying to, you know something into what you're doing?
And I love like interacting with the younger generation because I think that's super important that
Absolutely.
we pass the baton
Yeah.
on. We work a lot with the young DJs that are like,
Oh, cool.
they're all like, oh my God, look who's, they're so excited working with us. And we're like,
Great.
what? We're so excited working with
We're
you
like
guys.
bigger fans of them than they are of
Yeah,
us.
and
They're
they're
inspiring.
bringing back our sound, and they're inspired by us, and we're
Cool.
inspired by them,
Great.
and we're constantly planting seeds, right?
Cool.
Constantly.
There's
And
no
some take
gatekeeping
longer
with
to
us.
bloom, but they bloom, right?
There's definitely no gatekeeping with us. We
Oh,
definitely
brilliant.
want them all there.
Great. Has anyone got a question for these guys? Would like to throw it out there? We have a mic going? No? So where do you see the scene in 5 years' time? Do you feel you sound quite confident about where it is at the moment? Yeah.
I am, and I think also now, you know, that from what I see from the younger generation, they are more into the bass heavier music again.
Right.
You know, they're.
So it's a cycle again there, I guess.
It seems
Yeah.
that way. It
Yeah.
seems that way, and it, you know, if you study history, that's the way it really goes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these kids are playing, you know, Egyptian Lover. They're going
Yeah.
to Egyptian Lover when we bring them down. You're like,
Sure.
where are all these kids coming from? You know, like,
Yeah. It's like history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So.
it does, sure does.
It has a lot to do with their parents being our age.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
good, solid educations there. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up there, but we're going to take the conversation over to On the Rocks bar, just one block away. If you want to hang out and have a chat with us and keep the conversation going, thanks. Please give it
Thank
up
you,
for these
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed